This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's keep it moving here and talk about what's next, because we've got so many requests over the years. I guess now's as good of a time to talk about it as any. On September 21st, 1987, Pile Driver, the wrestling album number 2, was released on vinyl, with a Coliseum video VHS also being released. This is the one with Hulk Hogan wearing a hard hat and doing construction work. It's the only WWF/WWE album that never had a CD release. And
really?
Yeah. And track number 3 was Honky Tonk Man by the Honky Tonk Man. Give us a little bit of a rendition here, Bruce.
Oh, it's a honky tonk man. He's a honky tonk man. I'm a honky tonk man. He's a honky tonk man. I'm a honky tonk man. I'm cool. I'm cocky. I'm bad. That's actually more John Paul Shelnut doing honky tonk man than was doing honky tonk man.
Well, it's pretty good though. I mean, listen, I'll give you a little clap deal on that one.
Conrad gave me the clap.
Well, a few people have said that over the years. So in September of 87, Honky begins to work with the Macho Man Randy Savage, and he says that he clicked with Savage and really enjoyed working with him. And he says that Savage would trust him enough to interject Elizabeth into the match. And of course, we've all heard that Savage was overly protective of Elizabeth. So that's probably a vote of confidence when he trusts. And maybe some of that is, them sort of coming from the same area. Of course, Savage worked Tennessee a lot earlier in his life. And I don't know, feels like those guys would have gotten along just fine.
Yeah, they did. And again, Wayne was a married man, and he was cool. There definitely was a trust factor there with Savage, and Savage. It wasn't that Savage didn't trust a lot of people. It was just that Savage was very cautious and protective of Liz. Didn't want to see her get hurt. She wasn't a trained worker, so he didn't want her to be a traditional manager, tripping and passing the nuts type shit. Was just very protective of her.
Let's talk about September of 87, or I guess October rather. That's when we first see him on national TV. I guess it's October 3rd, 1987, Saturday night's main event number 12, which was technically recorded on September 23rd in Hershey, PA. Savage almost defeats Honky until Jimmy Hart's Heart Foundation runs into the ring and attacks Randy. That gets Honky disqualified, but of course that means he retains. Miss Elizabeth is going to attempt to stop the attack on Savage, but believe it or not, Honky shoves her down, which was a big deal. And she She fled to the locker room as Honky smashes the guitar over Savage's skull. What a moment that was. I remember that like it was yesterday. But Miss Elizabeth returned with an ally, Hulk Hogan, who aids Savage in running off the heels. And this leads to the formation of the Mega Powers. Pretty big moment in wrestling history. I wasn't even watching wrestling at the time, but right when I was getting in, I could see all about this in the magazines. And this whole angle was big time stuff, was it not?
Yeah, it was. I remember, that was my first WrestleMania. That was my first Saturday night's main event in Hershey. I think we'd done one before this, that I was at in the summer, but that Hershey arena was so special. The way that it was an old hockey arena, but it went straight up and was great for television tapings. It was a magical moment. It just was that really magical moment where Randy the tide was turning with Randy so much so, really being popular during that time, that this just solidified his superstar baby facedom.
Right.
With Hulk coming out and sprinkling the Hulk dust and getting involved and the beginning of that formation.
Let's talk about this match. It's the last high profile Savage Honky match on the undercard of 1988. It's the main event. It would see Honky lose by count out after Savage runs him into the ring post. And Honky had talked about in interviews wanting to quit before this match because he thought the original plans would have buried his character. And he says he outright refused to do the job. And he's done a lot of shoot interviews about this with our friends, Sean Oliver over at kayfabecommentaries.com. And I think he famously told a story that Dick Ebersol actually met with Randy and Liz without Honky. And then they told Honky afterwards what was going to happen. He was probably in his feelings a little bit, thinking, well, they don't have any plans for me. They're moving on for me. And supposedly he refuses to do the job here because the original plan was he would drop the Intercontinental title to Randy Savage. And allegedly, and again, this is rumor and innuendo, but supposedly when he refuses to drop the belt here, because I believe the report was at the time, DiBiase would go on to be champion. And instead, when Honky says, nope, I'm not doing it, they can't give the Intercontinental title to Randy, so they program him for the world title at WrestleMania 4. He becomes the world champion. $1 Million Man creates his own $1 Million championship. Honky keeps his IC. Everybody's happy. I'm sure you're going to poke holes in that, but that's certainly what a lot of wrestling fans have thought was supposed to happen for a long time. Can you bring any clarity now?
So what did people think was supposed to happen?
That originally the plan was Honky drops the IC to Savage. DiBiase goes on to win the world title. And we've got a heel champion with baby faces chasing. But instead, when Honky refuses to placate him, to pacify him, if you will, we move him up to the main event and give him the world title. And Ted DiBiase's opportunity to be champ is removed. So we give him the $1 Million championship instead. I know you're going to poke holes in it. I'm ready for it. Tell us what really happened. Did Honky refuse to drop the Intercontinental title to Randy Savage?
I have no idea if Honky refused to drop the Intercontinental Championship. However, I do know that the plans for Randy Savage to go on to win the championship at WrestleMania 4 were in the works in September, October of 1987. So the rest of that is probably folklore, rumor, innuendo.
Wait, hang on. So you're saying Honky is lying. He wasn't asked to lose.
I said, I don't know that. I didn't say he was lying at all. You said that. I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said, I don't know if he refused to lose. I have no idea if he did or not.
Well, here's my question.
But I can tell
Bruce.
you the plan for Randy Savage was not the result of something that happened in October that, okay, we're not going to put the Intercontinental title on him. We're going to put the world title on him. No, that was planned long before that. For Survivor Series to go the Hulk and Andre and the teams, and then have the February main event with Hulk and Andre and the title and all that shit.
Well,
to do the tournament.
Let's just give it a little leeway here. And let's say perhaps Honky has his dates confused. Instead of it being main event in early 88, maybe it is the Saturday night's main event, number 12, that was recorded in September of 87. It doesn't air until October. Perhaps that was that's when they did the whole Hart Foundation runs in, we shove Elizabeth, the whole deal. Is that possible or plausible? Because you said that, hey,
no, because in Vince's mind, he was getting the title. He needed to get the title off of Hogan because where Hogan was going
to do a movie.
Had the plan for Savage. The whole DiBiase thing was just people talking about how great of a champion that DiBiase was. That when you go back into 1987 and Crockett buying out Bill Watts, that one of the rumor and innuendos and one of the things that was discussed was Ted DiBiase being the guy to be the NWA World Heavyweight Champion and beat Flair. When he came back from Japan and goes to Crockett, that was kind of like, but again, rumor and innuendo.
Right.
That was the scuttlebutt. That was the buzz. This is all just rumor and innuendo of people saying, oh yeah, wouldn't DiBiase? I know what they're going to do now. But internally, that wasn't the case.
Okay. But listen, it's not people saying that on the outside. It's the fucking Honky Tonk Man who says they wanted me to lose. And I said, no. Now let's just go down there.
And maybe he did. Let's play that out. Maybe he did.
Let's play it out. So the original idea, according to you, was he's going to drop the Intercontinental to Randy Savage, and then Randy Savage is going to go win the tournament and unify the Intercontinental and World title in 1980.
Never heard that. Not one time.
Well, then
But I never heard that he wanted Honky to drop the title. The whole deal was to shoot the angle to bring Hulk and Savage together.
So you don't believe that Honky was asked to lose the title here?
Wouldn't surprise me if he was and that he refused. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm telling you that I don't know that, and I'm not going to lie to you like Dave Meltzer and all these other people and tell you report, rumor, and innuendo. If Honky says that happened, then Honky was there. He would know if it happened or not. I wasn't there for that. Was I there early on for the idea of Randy Savage winning the title at WrestleMania 4? Yes, I was. I can speak to that. I can speak to that directly because I was a part of that. I witnessed that. I heard that. I was a part of that. And was I ever a part of hearing a story about Honky refusing to win the title and that the idea was for Randy Savage to win the Intercontinental title and DiBiase to win the WWF title? No, that discussion did not happen. Not with me.
You got to get hot about it.
No, I do get hot about it because, again, I'm not calling Honky Tonk Man a liar, and that'll probably get out on the fucking sheets and all this other bullshit and how people fucking misconstrue things that you say instead of actually listening to what the fuck I say. And it's...
Hang on.
To exactly what I'm... Now, hang on, listen. What I'm exactly saying is that, yes, there was a plan early on for Savage. Was there ever a plan for DiBiase? No. Was there a discussion amongst the boys and amongst people about what if and wouldn't Ted DiBiase be a great champion? Sure. Yes. As far as the plans and what we were doing at that time to put Hulk and Savage together to get to the fucking whole Andre shit and WrestleMania 4 and the tournament and crown Savage, dude, that was planned early on.
Okay. Well, Honky Tonk Man allegedly spoke to Jim Barnett during this time and was even considering jumping ship over to the NWA / what's going to become WCW. And he says that Vince was furious learning this, but I think Honky felt like he had no other choices because no one was communicating with him or telling him what the future plans were. And he says he got a vibe from the office after this that he couldn't be trusted. So let's poke holes in it. Let's play devil's advocate. Did you hear of Honky Tonk Man pushing back at all? Did you hear of him speaking to Jim Barnett? Did you hear of there being a threat of him perhaps jumping ship? Did you hear of Vince perhaps losing faith or confidence in Wayne Ferris here?
Yeah, totally lost faith in him. And it was so horrible that we kept the title on him for another 9 months. Think about that. If Vince lost faith in him and Vince didn't like him and didn't want him around and didn't trust him, then why would he leave the championship on him for another 9 months and build Honky as much as we did? Does that make any sense?
Well, okay. Perhaps it's sour grapes from Honky, but
does it make sense to you? That's the question. Does that make sense? This guy, he cannot be trusted. I don't like him. He's a malcontent. He's all this. So I'm going to leave one of my biggest championships and I'm going to feature him and I'm going to invest all this time and money in him because he can't be trusted. Does that make sense?
You're going to beat him pretty straight up in a handful of months here, very, very quickly. And he doesn't really do much after that.
From September until fucking the next August?
No.
That's what you're
No.
saying.
No. Let's run through this. I gave you a hypothetical. I told you this happened on the main event where they did the double Hebner bullshit in early '88. So that would have been what, February, March?
No. Okay. Double Hebner. Okay. February. And then he loses his title in August.
Yeah.
If there was no trust and this guy's nobody wants him around, why not take the title off of him at WrestleMania?
All right. I just want to be clear here for the record. Vince was not upset that he spoke to Jim Barnett about jumping ship while he was
I have no idea if he
champion.
was or not. But to me, the theory, and to say that Vince came and said, "Oh, I'm pissed off at Honky Tonk Man." No.
So if Vince is pissed at you, he's pulling the belts off you.
I have no idea. I'm saying that you're asking me.
Yeah. And you said no, but no, your reason for saying
logically look at it. Logically look at it. If somebody is getting ready to jump ship, if you're upset with someone getting ready to jump ship and you don't trust them anymore, saying what you said, that felt there wasn't trust there, then why would you leave him in a position, and why would you continue to invest in that character?
No, I got it. I mean, you told me straight up right there. We understand now.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, I'm sure Vince was fine with it because he left the belt on him. It's not a big deal. The feud is blown off a few weeks before WrestleMania 4, and at WrestleMania 4, his next feud begins. And of course it's with Brutus, the fucking barber, Beefcake.
Beefer.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.